Welcome to Mental Athletics. Today is the start of a new series where we talk about the mental side of your game in order to become a better athlete. A lot of times, the mental side of the game is hard to explain. A lot of times, it's really not explained well. So, here I'm going to try to talk about concepts that maybe you haven't heard about before and see if that gets through to you. Today's topic is the unconscious performance, and we're going to talk about how you can tap into your unconscious mind, which is better at processing and reacting faster than your normal conscious thinking brain. So, if you read a book called Thinking Fast and Slow, it talks about two brain systems, your part A, system A, and system B. And system A is your gut reaction to things, like this is a lot where our biases are. But system B is our thinking. It's our critical thinking side. It's one that has to do work. Like whenever I tell you what is 550 plus 632, you got to use system B to answer that question. So what we're trying to do with the unconscious performance is essentially use system A, but kind of like use system A in a way that your trained performance comes out. So when you practice, what happens is in your brain, it actually happens in your brain, the signal becomes stronger over time because of fatty acids build up around your brain cells. And so whenever you practice a skill a lot and over and over and over again, you actually get better at it, and those brain cells are able to send more information and a better signal down to the rest of your body. So how does this all come into play with the unconscious performance? So the unconscious performance essentially looks a lot of times like people in the flow of the game or really relaxed, like everything seems real easy to them. And the reason why it looks so easy to them is because they're using all their practice skill. It looks like they're at practice. A perfect example of somebody that used their unconscious skill is there was a video recently. A kid got knocked out. Like he got knocked out while playing basketball. Took a knee to the head, and he's stumbling all over the court. His team somehow gets the ball back and passes it to him for some reason. He's behind the three-point line, shoots a three-pointer, swish, goes in. It looks totally natural. And then he goes back to stumbling all over the place. And the reason that is because his body essentially took over. It's still his brain, it's his unconscious side of his brain, but it just took over and performed the skill of shooting the ball for him. And so, what are we trying to solve with the unconscious performance? Like, what are the problems that turn up? Because, like, whenever somebody is playing unconscious, it looks real easy. Well, what does it look like if you're not? So when you're not unconscious, it looks a lot of times you're thinking too much. You're trying to you're thinking too much about your own performance. You're thinking too much about what your opponent is doing. You're essentially not letting your practice skill take over. And the other thing that can happen that's kind of on the opposite end is pressing, and where you go out there and you try so hard that essentially what ends up happening is you make a lot of mistakes and unforced errors because you're just trying too hard. And the same thing happens whenever you're thinking too much. You make mistakes. And usually those are simple mistakes. They're like catching the ball, like you just drop it. So how do we tap into that unconscious performance? I was actually listening to, I can't remember what I was listening to, but they were talking about it. One coach giving his players advice, and what he was telling his players was go out there, find a small detail and focus on that. And that's how I believe you can get into the unconscious performance, because whenever you start focusing on a single detail and you're trying to react to a single detail, then your body and your practice will take over the rest of your performance. And so this is what you want to do, because whenever you practice, things are easy. It's natural. You just catch and shoot. And so that is what you want to tap into. So focusing on a small detail will get you there. So next time you go out, play a game, think about it, be aware of what you're doing. Look for that one small detail that you can then go and focus on, and it'll make you better. I believe this works. It'll take some time and from practice, but I believe once you do that, it'll work. So go out there. Let's see it.